what our shitty ass healthcare has come to, where my patients need medicine and supplies and their insurance won't cover it, and here I am spending my own money because my patient needs it, and he doesn't have any money and he can't work. And the insurance won't even cover what he needs. And I'm sad and I'm sick and tired of it.
I just found out that due to the lapse of the ACA subsidies, my health insurance premium is going up 700% from $60 a month to $440 a month. That is half of my rent. That is 25% of my income.
Florida FAFO, F around and find out. Affordable Care Act premiums have doubled in Florida as we speak. It varies again by your age, by your group, by your plan, by your family members. But in general, headlines across Florida, the prices have doubled across Florida.
I wanted to understand, why is this happening? The biggest reason why premiums are skyrocketing is claims. Florida is consistently flagged for things like services billed that never happened, inflated procedure codes, and unnecessary testings. When insurance companies pay out more, whether it's legitimate care or fraud, they don't absorb those losses. They pass the cost directly onto the consumer.
Hello guys, thank you for tuning in today. And today I want us to look at what is happening in Florida. So let's have a discussion on what is trending in Florida. So across Florida right now, families are opening their health insurance renewal letters, and some are starting at numbers that they never expected to see. Premiums that were once affordable have suddenly doubled, tripled, or even worse. So for many, this isn't politics anymore. It is panic. So on January 1st, the Enhanced Affordable Care Act, which was a subsidy, officially expired. These were the tax credits that kept monthly health premiums low for millions of Americans. But the Congress chose not to renew them, and the fallout is hitting immediately. So Florida isn't just affected, it is the epicenter. The state has more ACA marketplace enrollees than any other in the country. Because Florida never expanded Medicaid, millions of working adults rely entirely on ACA subsidies to stay insured. So for some Floridians, premiums are jumping from under $50 a month to several hundreds. Others are being priced out altogether. So this means fewer doctors' visits, skipped prescriptions, and families gambling that they won't get sick. Here is where the story takes a sharper turn. Many of these people who are now facing these increases, they voted for Donald Trump and the Republican leaders who opposed the extension of these ACA subsidies. It's very ironic. So this doesn't mean all Trump voters regret their choice, but some do. So guys, let's watch more clips of reactions from Floridians. Then I will come back with more commentaries.
Our health insurance premium is effectively tripling from 2025 to 2026.
Kylie Barrios says that premium is going from about $900 to $2,500 next year. For the 30-year-old living in Florida, that means foregoing insurance.
The whole system feels as though it's failed and isn't advocating for me as a small business owner, as somebody who wants to become a mom and have a family.
Congress has failed to extend the federal subsidies that help cover the cost, and the greatest impact could be in the state of Florida. Why? Because it has far more Obamacare enrollees than any other state in this country.
I've generally voted Republican, and I still do believe that to some extent that it is the party that better serves my values, but I would like them to act on those values that they claim to protect.
Just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan? I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now.
Well, 1 year in, and we still have not heard any type of concept of a plan. But in conclusion, to Kylie, all I have to say to you is, have the lack of healthcare that you voted for. Bye.
I just found out that due to the lapse of the ACA subsidies, my health insurance premium is going up 700% from $60 a month to $440 a month. That is half of my rent. That is 25% of my income. And I'm working in a field where I'm making a well above minimum wage.
Hey girl, welcome to what the rest of us have been living with for years. Yeah, your insurance just went up 700%. That's brutal. Now let me gently welcome you to reality. Not only do I pay for my own health insurance, which is insanely expensive and covers almost nothing, I also help pay for yours. Let's see what else she says.
So I called, of course, my local constitutional law expert, my father, who was the former general counsel for the FCC, who's argued in the Supreme Court about 30 times before he retired in 2008, and won a majority of his cases. He did his clerkship under Chief Justice Berger, et cetera, et cetera. And his advice is to show up. Call, email, annoy your representatives, especially if you're living under a Republican right now.
Fun fact about Obamacare, also known as the Affordable Care Act. It passed without a single Republican vote. Not one. So blaming Republicans for the structure of the ACA is confusing. They didn't design it, they didn't vote for it, they didn't pass it. And that doesn't mean the system works, because it doesn't. And everyone always says, oh, you talk about problems, but you never talk about solutions. I'm about to spoon feed you some. These are solutions that Charlie Kirk recommended that I'm also on board with. Number 1, allow insurance competition across state lines. Number 2, provide direct assistance for people with pre-existing conditions, instead of forcing everyone into the same bloated system. Number 3, make insurance portable. You shouldn't lose coverage just because you change jobs. Number 4, require real price transparency. Patients should know what something costs before treatment, not after and they get a surprise bill. Number 5, use tax credits so lower income families can buy private insurance instead of forcing everyone into one trapped government control model. So yeah, healthcare is broken, but yelling at the wrong people and ignoring basic economics isn't fixing.
So in interviews, local reporting and online forums, a growing number of Floridians conservatives are expressing shock, anger, and betrayal. They say they didn't expect healthcare costs to land on them this hard. For years, the subsidies were quietly doing their job. Many people didn't realize the lower premiums weren't permanent, or that they depended on continued congregational approval. So when the help disappears overnight, the policy suddenly becomes personal. This is the consequence of policy choices. When lawmakers vote against extending subsidies without a replacement, the cost doesn't vanish, it gets passed directly to voters. So healthcare markets don't wait for ideology.
Health insurance, well, Ron DeSantis says that's just a scam with paperwork. So Ron DeSantis was sitting down for an interview and he said, Floridians don't need any pesky comprehensive health care. All they need is a catastrophic health plan and an HSA account if they're under 50 years old. That should be more than enough. A catastrophic illness in America will have you homeless faster than an eviction notice. Does not matter if you had a health savings account, if you saved, or if you budgeted. Because the healthcare system in America is set up to break you, not to save you. And the people who keep telling you that the health insurance is fine are politicians. You know why? Because their insurance, folks like DeSantis, their insurance is top tier. They got that premium gold-plated insurance. See, when they get sick, the doctor rolls out the red carpet. Champagne in the IV drip. But yeah, to your local politicians, health insurance is good. See, the rest of us are one emergency away from bankruptcy. And then Ron DeSantis tries to act like this isn't reality for millions of Americans. Ron DeSantis needs to wake up because people under 50 are struggling. I guess he don't see people working multiple jobs and still skipping going to the doctor because they can't afford the bill. Right as kept, we don't need pep talks from elected officials about personal responsibility while our tax dollars pay for their health care. We need the same affordable, great insurance that they're using right up there in Congress. Why can't we have that for our families? Because until then, all of us, those of you under 50, those of us 50 and older, are just one doctor's appointment away from us losing everything.
I knew this was coming, so I'm not shocked. That's not what this is about. I am curious, how much have your health insurance premiums increased now that the ACA subsidies have My husband's has increased about 110%, which I don't know how we're going to afford that. Mine actually run through March, so I don't know what to expect with my numbers yet. My plan, I'll find that out in a couple months. Early numbers suggest about 1.5 million people have already dropped their ACA plans. It's my understanding we won't know the true number who have just gone uninsured until mid-year. But yeah, and I don't even know how I would be able to afford mine. Mine's at about $460. If that were to double, I would just have to drop insurance and I suppose save the money, put it aside, and just like self-insure. But yeah, I'm curious if you're interested in sharing, how much have yours increased?
I found out I was pregnant and I'm now almost 16 weeks. I live in Florida and I don't have health insurance. I tried applying for Medicaid, but I got denied. I'm a server and I make decent money, but I thought I could qualify for some kind of financial help. I tried applying through healthcare through the marketplace. I make too much money for that, apparently. So I don't know much about insurance, right? But I went in person to Florida Blue and asked them for help, right? I got quoted a minimum $522 for the insurance I want. The one I would actually probably get is $775 per month, and that doesn't include the cost of delivery and all that. How are people affording this much money a month? How could you afford to have a baby? This is ridiculous. That, I just don't get it. I don't get it. If you know of any hacks to get health insurance in Florida for cheaper, I don't qualify for Medicaid and I don't qualify for Marketplace, or if you're an insurance broker that could help me out, let me know.
Florida, a healthcare crisis is looming. Approximately 1.5 million individuals are set to fall off of insurance starting in 2026. Let me break it down for you. What is the problem? Well, the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, is set to see its subsidies begin to end in 2026. What do these subsidies do, and how does it relate to premiums? Subsidies help keep healthcare insurance premiums down. What is a subsidy? A subsidy is a form of financial assistance. What is a premium in regards to healthcare? A premium is how much individuals pay out of pocket in order to stay on their healthcare plans. So as you can imagine, as premiums go up, healthcare goes down. Why does healthcare go down? Because people who are insured cannot always afford skyrocketing premiums. So we have to ensure that people can stay on the Affordable Care Act, on their Obamacare. Also, Florida is facing a big issue because projected in 2035, we're expecting approximately a shortage of 18,000 physicians. That doesn't even include other providers. In conjunction with that, kids are not safe either right now. Okay, kids have already started to be kicked off of kid care, and with this looming premium issue that we have with the Affordable Care Act, because subsidies are going to go away, we could see even more children kicked off of their health insurance. In Florida, if you're 18 and under, almost anybody can get health insurance as a part of Medicaid or as a part of the Affordable Care Act. So we have to understand that this is going to really come to a head. We have a shortage in providers, and then we have more individuals that are not going to have health insurance. Not good. What is the impact that we're going to see? We're going to see wait times skyrocket. We're going to see hospitals have many unpaid bills, and hospitals with unpaid bills cannot operate properly. It is not good for anybody involved. We're going to see more people utilize the emergency department for their primary care visits, so they won't be coming to physicians like me who work in the outpatient setting who want to see people because they can't get to us because their insurance won't allow for them to see individuals because they won't have insurance anymore because they cannot pay for it. So it is very important to understand that this is a very deleterious impact, and we need to make sure that people can stay on the Affordable Care Act. This act was huge. It really helped to bridge the healthcare gap in many states, and Florida is no exception. In fact, Florida might be the most impacted. How can we mitigate this? We can speak to lawmakers at the local and state levels to ensure that we extend the subsidies of the Affordable Care Act. That way we keep more people on their health care and we do not see the fallout from that, because Just because you might be able to keep your health care doesn't mean that you won't be affected, because again, we will see wait times go up. We will see hospitals not run as smoothly because the burden will be too much. And we also have to keep in mind in Florida, we are facing a physician shortage and a provider shortage. This is all going to come together in a perfect storm, and we can help to prevent it.
Florida FAFO, F around and find out. Affordable Care Act premiums have doubled in Florida as we speak. It varies again by your age, by your group, by your plan, by your family members. But in general, headlines across Florida, the prices have doubled across Florida. Well, you know what? Donald Trump told you they were going to make these changes. And who did you vote for? MAGA. You voted for Donald Trump. So I don't want to hear you all complaining that they've now done this. Now, do I think it's a right thing or a wrong thing? I think it's a wrong thing to have done, but they told you they were going to do this. This is in Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. Donald Trump and the Republicans are the ones that are taking away your subsidies to help lower your insurance costs. They don't care whether your family has insurance or not. Now, if you're rich, they're going to worry about you getting your benefits. They're going to worry about you being taken care of. For example, Elon Musk has received $38 billion of tax credits, tax advantages, and other contracts, etc., from the federal government. You can go through a number of other companies and find they've gotten millions and billions of money back from the government. And yet, who's the one that's being bad? You are, for wanting to get those health insurance subsidies. And well, that's who you voted for. What can I say? Love to hear from my Floridians, my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burner light bulbs. If you're on the ACA in Florida, which there are 4.7 million, I think Florida leads the country with people on it. What happened to your premiums? They doubled, didn't they?
If your health insurance went up in Florida, especially here in Lee County, you are not imagining it. I wanted to understand, why is this happening? The biggest reason why premiums are skyrocketing is claims. Florida is consistently flagged for things like services billed that never happened, inflated procedure codes, and unnecessary testings. When insurance companies pay out more, whether it's legitimate care or fraud, they don't absorb those losses. They pass the cost directly onto the consumer. Lee County is especially affected because we have an older population, rapid growth, and fewer providers accepting lower insurance reimbursements. Less competition plus higher demand equals higher prices. When you know what's driving costs, you can make smarter choices and avoid unnecessary expenses when possible.
What is happening in Florida is a preview of a national issue. When essential programs expire, the backlash doesn't follow party lines. It follows the bill. And the healthcare is one of the fastest ways economic reality overrides political loyalty. So this moment raises a simple question. When the policies you supported start affecting your ability to see a doctor, do you double down or do you demand something different? So for many Floridians, that question has just become unavoidable. Guys, enhanced ACA premium tax credits, they originally expanded during the pandemic and extended through 2025. It expired on December 31st, 2025 because Congress did not pass a renewal. That means that many Americans who got financial help on ACA Marketplace, they will now see much higher monthly premiums or even lose eligibility for help entirely. Florida has the largest number of ACA or ACA Marketplace enrollees in the US, which is roughly about 4.7 million. So the impact is especially large there. Premiums for some policies are expected to more than double on average, and insurers in many markets are proposing significant rate increase. In Florida specifically, without the enhanced tax credits, many residents face steep spikes from small monthly premiums to increases of hundreds of dollars. Some examples include premiums rising from $28 per month to to $733 a month. So even there has been reports of 900% higher, which is very high rates, and individuals currently seeing sticker shock. An estimated 1.4 million people, so about that percent of enrollees, may be priced out of coverage entirely because they can't afford the renewal costs. So there isn't a large-scale systematic polling data yet breaking down attitudes by voter group after the ACA subsidy expiration, but several credible news and local reporting sources, as well as first-hand accounts, highlight broad themes. Healthcare advocates and Floridians of all political strips have expressed real fear and anger about having to choose between coverage and basic needs. Local residents who were interviewed reported impossible choices ahead as costs soar. Trump voters, especially among the Latino communities who helped deliver Trump's win in the state, are questioning their vote as economic pressure mounts. Social media threads from Floridians, which reflect a range of viewpoints but do capture genuine first-hand feelings, shows some Trump supporters saying they feel betrayed or surprised by the healthcare cost, which has increased. They face now that subsidies have expired. They are worried. So Florida's healthcare landscape makes it particularly vulnerable because the state has more ACA marketplace enrollees than any other nearly 5 million people who rely on these plans. Some Republicans, they have advocated replacing or overhauling the ACA long term, but there has been no consensus on a near-term extension that would prevent the sharp premium increases. So this is affecting many voters who relied on these subsidies, including some Trump voters, and a subset of those express frustrations or regret. So guys, thank you for watching to this far end, and I'd like you to comment on the comment section, give your views, and kindly remember to subscribe, and you can also share to your friends. Thank you, and see you on the next video.